So
I think we're at a lack
Brad
of
agrees with a neocology pattern.
So they can ask the question, right, of Holly and Laurie, and you sort of answer it. But somewhere in the back, there's still this thing to get even. Say, hey, what was that about? There's still this thing to get even. Yeah. That's the open. Get even. Yeah. That's the open.
Mine wasn't get even. It was a genuine curiosity.
Okay.
I don't know this group just like you guys don't know me, so I'm trying to get to know, and I guess my assumption is because these type of discussions on narcissists, these types of groups are typically more open to just go ahead and ask somebody, do you have an insecurity or is something behind that? So I wasn't worried or threatened to ask.
Because when you ask if someone is, well, why are you insecure? So there's like an embedded message in that you are insecure. Embedded message in that you are insecure.
I wasn't insecure in asking that question, but I do have insecurities on other things. That's for sure.
Are you curious as to why a neocon and I have formed that view?
I am curious, but that is part of like where my trigger starts, because in my upbringing, I was shamed for being curious. So that's how my trigger will show up. I'll claim up.
Okay, that makes some sense.
So what if your upbringing trigger of being shamed for being curious makes you position your questions and your statements in a slightly more guarded way?
Claim up.
It creates more language, so the people that are listening have to parse out more words. And then we still sort of feel your defensiveness underneath it because you're worried about coming out as too curious, and you're going to get
it can pivot from being a question to being a statement. And that's probably what's being picked up on.
I have a guard up for sure. Like I do. Like I'm not going to deny that.
Lift the guard up all the way.
Yeah. Why should having guard up bother anybody? I don't get that.
Well, because it's very hard to deal with people on an emotional level when their guards up.
Yeah.
No one's home.
Oh, this is interesting.
Why would someone have to be emotionally there? I don't get it.
But wait a second. I think Laurie was speaking for herself just fine. Holly, why are you speaking for her now?
I'm asking you guys. I'm not speaking for her. And I'm asking for myself.
Cut her off while she was saying that she was feeling guarded. And yes, that's fine. You jumped in to tell her and all of us that was fine. And why should it not be okay for her to feel that?
I got it. I hear you.
Good one.
Let's move on.
Is your guard up? Holly, is your guard up?
Yeah.
Yes, I always have my guard up. I
have a question. I have a guard up for sure. You all had your excuse. Well, the pattern thing is because you don't know the group yet, and so that's just how it is because there's a pattern of the patterns and whatnot. But I have a guard up for sure. So I have to get to know the group, but it seems a little bit hypocritical, jumping on me to like for having a guard up, hypocritical when I have to equally get to know all of y'all too.
So you're making an observation or a feeling that you feel like you're being attacked or jumped on because you're guarded. Is that what you're throwing in?
The trigger is the hypocrisy.
Well, that's the added. That you're pointing out hypocrisy, but the underlying assumption that you threw, your evidence behind it is saying, I'm hearing that you say you feel like your guardedness is being challenged, questions, triggered, or judged or something. Is that correct?
Yes. From the statements on that the actions aren't meeting the words, or the feelings, aren't being shown, or why do you have your guard up and those kind of things. It's like, well, because I don't know you guys yet. Because
what's wrong?
Why do you have your guard up is being interpreted as you shouldn't have your guard up.
Yes.
Has anyone explicitly given you an injunction or a judgment to say that you should lower your guard or it's bad to have your guard up?
No, other than, I guess, just tone of voice to some extent.
So there could be some tone of voice that is making some sort of judgment about guardedness isn't the ideal thing. Or
yeah, I have a guard up for sure.
Now, would you agree that it's possible to have too much guardedness? And that would
yes, but I view it more as it is too much guardedness if you let it keep going once you haven't gotten to know somebody, rather than like guardedness based on an initial meet. That's how I view it. An initial meet, I think it's up to the individual how guarded they want to be or not. But if I'm interacting with someone and it's a pattern that they're always that guarded and they're not bringing it down at all, then red flags go off. Red flags go off.
So Holly just admitted to that.
So I always have my guard up.
Red flags go off. Red flags go off.
That she's always got her guard up.
So I always have my guard up.
Which is where I think this is a good topic. Took forever to get to.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
if we could just talk out guardedness before jumping into another layer, I think this could be a very useful exploration.